The Battlefield 6 open beta. The first round has taken place over this weekend, and bro, it is going extremely well, because for the first time, and it's kind of funny to say something about the sixth canonical, or at least numeric installment in a franchise, to say that it is a breath of fresh air, but honestly, the fact that there's no, goofy people doing a default dance or flossing in the background is coming out in a modern military shooter and is just being exactly that. Yeah, it's nice to see actual unironic boots on the ground, and it's even more insane that it's EA of all companies that are actually listening to their audience and giving gamers what they want. It's a wild ride, man. Talking about gaming over the past year, just to see Ubisoft crumble, Activision be bought up by Microsoft, and see everything that Microsoft stupidly has done by shutting down anything that moves. And Sony, well, I'm sure we're going to talk about them next week with what the hell they're doing out there. But gaming's become a very strange place where I get to praise EA and genuinely look forward to a Battlefield game, which is the first time in about a half decade, well, actually about a decade at this point in time, because yeah, I was looking forward to Battlefield 1. Battlefield 5 put me off so precipitously, I just never looked back to the franchise, but I digress. Battlefield 6 has beaten almost every Call of Duty game ever made on Twitch. That is wild. And if you had an equally accessible database for YouTube streams, I would imagine you'd probably find something quite similar as well. The Battlefield 6 beta commenced earlier today and has been skyrocketing all day in social and streaming circles. The game has become one of the most highly anticipated first-person shooters to emerge in several years. Yeah, that's, well, yeah, to be fair, there have been other anticipated shooters. Like, everybody wanted to see what kind of a calamity Concord would be last year, but yeah, this is the one that people have genuine enthusiasm for, people that are actually looking forward to something. To be fair though, there was one Call of Duty that came out that had an unironically based trailer if you looked at it from a certain perspective, but then how they muddled any excitement for Cold War. Like, you start off with a whole Yuri Bezmenov quote, and I was like, oh sure, we're going to talk about subversion? Alright, that's awesome. And then it just ended up being same generic slop. It's like, oh god damn it. But anyways, it's looking like a strong turning point for the series that has found itself on rocky ground for almost a decade. Yeah, because they were doing that. Well, they lost their identity, right? Because Battlefield originally started out Battlefield 1942. I think that was the first installment. It was a World War II shooter. And then they went modern day and found great success with Battlefield. Well, actually, with the Bad Company line of games, and then with 3 being a huge success, 4 keep it on. And then of course 1 came out, or did Hardline come out before that? Nobody remembers that, but yeah, that was a weird moment in time. That was the first hiccup, but then yes, 1 righted the course, and then 5, its launch, even though I've heard it has become quite a good game afterwards, that just derailed any momentum. And then they did a bunch of future shit in the next couple of installments, and yeah, nobody has talked about Battlefield in a while. Until now. As the beta unravels, scores of fans are taking to Twitch and YouTube to watch the streams as they await the open portion of the beta, to kick off. As of writing, 850,000 people are watching the beta on Twitch alone, and now that there are more people that are out there that have access to it, now these are numbers on Thursday evening, I would imagine that these are probably much higher than that over the weekend. Yeah, you have, on its day of release, 334,000 people playing the goddamn game, and at time of recording, the number, yeah, still, you have just about 200,000 people playing, depending on where you're at, either in the dead of night or in the late evening, if you're on the West Coast. That is a tremendous turnout, absolutely insane. And yes, it's just the beta. It's not reflective of the actual purchases that are out there, but it's a strong indicator. Okay, so Battlefield 6 is being played by some of the most prolific streamers in the world right now, and they're pulling in gargantuan numbers. At time of publishing, Battlefield 6 beta has 830,000 live views, and this weekend's going to be enormous. Like, okay, that 830,000 is going to be easily surpassed Saturday and Sunday. Something of a stunning record for the series. Not only is the most watched Battlefield game ever released, and that's not even released yet, is also effortlessly beating peak viewership count for every major Call of Duty game ever, bar Warzone. Wow. That's wild, actually. Only the Battle Royale game stands between Battlefield 6 and total dominance. For reference, here's, the peak ranking. So, Modern Warfare 3 capped at 444,000. The most recent installment, Blops 6, 481. Cold War, 705. Modern Warfare 2 at 751. And then, yes, as you see right there, right now, Battlefield 6, a beta at 844,723 live viewers. Will it be able to touch Warzone at 1.6 million viewers? Maybe for the full release, for the beta, maybe for interested people, but I would be interested to see not just for how many people are going to be checking this out, but what the response from Activision, what the response over on the Call of Duty side of this equation is going to be, because they could just simply continue to along their own path. They could just say, hey man, we got Blop 7 coming out at the end of the year. Okay, here's what we got. You know and love Warzone. It's going to be involved. We're going to have our own campaign. We're going to have zombies or whatever other cringe shit that they put in that. Listen, I've always had a healthy level of disdain for Treyarch's installments. I don't even know if they're still doing Black Ops at this point in time. I've been out of Call of Duties for a long time now. I hate all of this revision that, World at War was actually like a really good game. It fucking stunk when it first came out, okay? I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago when it first launched. It stunk then. It stinks now. Fucking Call of Duty multiplayer with tanks and it's just shitty controls. Fuck off. And the campaign was such balls. But anyways, it's not as bad as Ghosts, but even I said that sentence kind of lets you know my opinion on it. But the great success that Black Ops 6 had upon release at the end of last year, like even on Steam, even though it came out, it was a day one Game Pass game. Like it had, what, 800,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is fucking amazing in and of itself. They could just bank on that success. They can't go on like modern success because most people have jettisoned the product because once again, they offer promise to begin with and then they just fuck it up with all of their modern day-isms. But apparently they're really not concerned about the overwhelming success of Battlefield again, which is definitely a strategy you can take. Okay, I'm totally fine with that. I talked about it, I think it was yesterday, right? It came up, Law 36 from the 48 Laws of Power. Ignoring something is the best revenge. Disdain that which you cannot have. Activision leadership isn't worried about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is too big to fail. Oh no. Here's the thing, guys. Call of Duty has been teetering not just once, okay? Like, especially after the release of Warzone, they kind of put themselves into a league of their own. So yeah, are you too big to fail? I think like in the short term, but in the long term, everything comes and goes. There will be a day where Fortnite 2 will have to be released. Hell, GTA 5 is eventually going to be supplanted by GTA 6. You will eventually have to innovate or die. Call back to an old Activision game. You will have to skate or die. So if you earnestly think that you're untouchable, well, this is when you become most fallible. Insider Gaming has learned that Activision leadership has been taking note of Battlefield 6's recent hype, but it's not worried that the franchise will surpass Call of Duty. Speaking with sources who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to talk about Activision's internal conversations, it's been said that although Activision is keeping a close eye on Battlefield, they are not worried about the game out competing its flagship service. Yeah, until it does at the end of the year. Okay, it said that Activision leadership believes that Call of Duty is too big to fail and will remain a profitable annual released franchise for many years to come. True? No, that's fair. Will it be the big dog in the space anymore? We'll have to see. At the time of writing, the annual Call of Duty title is penciled in for the next 4 years at least. Yep, and this year's Call of Duty title, dubbed Black Ops 7, is said to be a strong title according to those familiar with the game's plans. Yeah, you've said that about other installments, and well, they've all gone the exact same way, despite initial problems, yes, in development. Right, no, it's a strong title, but yeah, it's gone through the same type of ebbs and flows in development. Interestingly enough, this year's Call of Duty will take place in a slightly futuristic setting similar to Battlefield 6, with both games targeting a similar audience. Whether or not the direct competition will impact Call of Duty is unclear, but at time of writing, Activision doesn't think it will. There's also Battlefield 6's Battle Royale to consider, which is believed to be a free-to-play component to the premium game. If EA can take a considerable chunk out of Call of Duty Warzone's player base, which has been depleting over the past couple of years, it would have a detrimental impact on Call of Duty's long-term player base. But yes, Black Ops 7 full reveal is going to be taking place on the 19th, so we'll get more information then, and if it starts to look even similar to Battlefield 6, they're going to get mocked and lampooned for that. And as it's been noted in recent years, Call of Duty has been very susceptible to a challenger, and an old foe from years gone by has re-emerged stronger than ever. And if you were gaming back in the day, back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, you would remember when a Call of Duty and a Battlefield would drop, and you would have certain friends more focused on squad-based and vehicular combat gravitate towards Battlefield, or you'd have the run and gun aspect of Black Ops, where you could, or I'm sorry, of Call of Duty, when you could just simply hop into a game every now and again and just get a couple of kills off. And now, once again, what is old is new again, and well, as Battlefield back in the day used to always get beat down by Call of Duty, is that going to be the case this time around? Time will tell, I suppose. It's going to be very interesting in the realm of FPSs. Meanwhile, you have Halo over in the corner fucking jacking off in their Spartan armor, selling queer flags you can put on your fucking visor. God, it makes me sick to my stomach. But anyways, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.